So there's a lot of different kinds of pre-treatment methods or techniques for rain gardens. Common structural ones that you can find are Raingardens, or the structures that kind of like sumps where they actually provide a box that you can clean out, rock inlets, and sod inlets. Pre-treatment is what collects these coarser leaves, silt, sand, that would otherwise clog the media very quickly and kill the native plants and prevent the infiltration. So that actually keeps the rain gardens functioning for their lifespan as intended. But we do need to clean out the pre-treatment or it gets full and it starts overloading into the rain garden. So this is one of the most important pieces of maintaining the rain garden. We usually do it in the spring because that's when the snow melts, everything that has been deposited, that's usually when we get out and clean it. But some pre-treatment areas do need to be cleaned out more than once a year, depending on how much stormwater and pollutant load that they're receiving. This is our Raingardens bunker. It's a pretty common one that you'll see around Stillwater and around the state. You can see with this Raingarden, there's a couple different pieces of it. It has this metal grate on the top that can also collect some of the debris, so you remove that first. Sometimes the water gets stuck in pools towards the top too, so we'll usually scrape and sweep kind of the area above, because otherwise it's just going to get washed in anyways. Now we're actually inside the box of the structure. Dig down in here and you'll be able to find the bottom of your pre-treatment area. There's usually on the other side a filter or a screen of a finer material, and that is what kind of gives it a chance to collect the really finer sediment before it goes into the garden. Those you can sweep off or scrape off as well. Then all of the material that you're pulling out of these structures should be brought to a compost facility, and they usually have designated areas for this material that is different than the regular compost that you would find in your garden. This is another example of a pre-treatment structure. It's also a rain garden. This one's a turret. You'll see these more in areas that receive a lot more flow, a lot more loading when the stormwater has a lot more sediment in it. So usually two different pieces that you take out, but otherwise it's the same principle as the bunker. Clean it out. There's going to be a screen filter to brush off and then sweep the outside. Another example of one are rock inlets. It mostly is really good at preventing scour at the entrance. They do provide some space for the pollutant loading to get caught, so the sediment to have somewhere to go. Rock inlets are a little bit more labor intensive for maintenance. They don't have those clear areas to clean out with the shovel the way that some of the other ones did. To maintain a rock inlet, you really have to pay attention to when the soil has built up and make sure that you can see that water is still able to enter the practice. If it's not, that's when you need to clean it out. And usually you need to excavate the rocks, kind of dig them back down to a grade that water is still able to enter the practice, and kind of reassemble it and just make sure that there's new space for the soil to fill up and the water is still entering the practice.